Is there anything you say to Suzanne right now if she could hear you?
Suzanne, we love you. We need you. And we pray for you.
This morning, we are being the voice for missing Texas mom and realtor Suzanne Simpson. Her husband now has been charged in her alleged death. Brad Simpson now faces a charge of murder in connection to the presumed death of his 51-year-old wife. No additional details have been released on Brad's arrest, but a press conference is set for this afternoon. According to NBC News, we will be there and we'll update you. It's been a month since the mother of four disappeared near Trinity University in San Antonio. Authorities have yet to publicly reveal if her body was found. They did multiple searches at a landfill last month. The couple's 20-year-old daughter, Chandler, took to Instagram to air her grievances with the case, saying, "My mom was a victim of abuse from my father. My father took my mother's life in a state of rage and control. In our community, this should not be happening, and I will not stop speaking as the voice of my mother until she's found." So clearly Chandler has not been told whether or not they've located. They obviously have not located the body, but we'll find out at this press conference today. Let's bring in retired NYPD Detective Mike Alcazar and forensic psychologist Dr. John Delatorre. Mike, when you're investigating something like this, obviously they believe that she's dead. They have now charged the husband. It's a no-body prosecution that they're going to move forward to. Now, pending today's news conference, maybe we'll get more information, but that can be risky, a no-body prosecution. Can it not when you're talking about adults? Maybe even with abuse, you could make the argument as a defense attorney that she ran away.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not a lawyer, but it would definitely be a little bit more challenging. It'll definitely rely on evidence, and I think that law enforcement have been keeping their cards close to their vest, right? They might have more information that they're going to release today. They might have pinged her phone or his phone at the landfill. They might have recovered DNA evidence in the woods where they were fighting. They might have video surveillance of him driving to certain locations. So it's going to be interesting to see when they reveal the information that they have, that they charge him and develop probable cause to charge him with the murder. And it's going to be very interesting today.
Dr. John, the guy that kills his wife and then does not cooperate on the back end of it, he has his daughter, publicly saying that she believes he's responsible for her. One would think that he would fess up and just show authorities where the body is, et cetera, et cetera. Why do people not do this? Because you think to yourself, boy, if I ever did something crazy like this, I would admit it. But people don't. Why?
Well, I mean, there's plenty of reasons why. Number one could easily be that their attorney told them, don't say anything to anyone, which is sound legal advice. But the other thing is that if they say it out loud, right, if they say that they are culpable of something, then it makes it real. So long as you keep it kind of within yourself, then you can kind of convince yourself and tell yourself that none of this actually happened, that you're not really guilty of anything, right? You can kind of convince yourself. So it's sort of a delusional state that a lot of people kind of take when it comes to not fully admitting to the culpability of whatever their misbehavior was.
Mike, how frustrating is it investigating a crime like this when you're searching for the body and you really do need sometimes the help of, to your point, you got the cameras, you have the maybe eyewitnesses, but when the case gets cold, when it gets to be the 2, 3, 4 weeks and you're looking at landfills, as an investigator, you really do want closure here, don't you? And how frustrating is that? Needle in a haystack.
Yeah, it's investigators often get very invested in investigations. They want to have a nice resolution for the family and closure. We try to do our best with our investigative diligence, but we only can do what we can do, right? We rely on the evidence, witness testimony, hopefully a confession, maybe when we do interrogations, not in this case, but we do our best. We continue with the investigation, and it is what it is. We present what we present, and then the lawyers take over.
John, Dr. John, you live in San Antonio. To what degree has this case captured the attention of the public?
I mean, it's really rattled San Antonio. There's a lot of reasons why it's rattled San Antonio. There's a lot of stuff that's going on when it comes to domestic abuse awareness, intimate partner violence, right? Federal gun issues that are at play. There are a lot of different things that have really kind of shaken San Antonio because of how secret all of this stuff was. All of a sudden, this woman goes missing, and then there's all kinds of other associated stuff going on. And now now we don't have a body for this. The daughter's coming out. There's so much, and it's really kind of rattling San Antonio to its core.
Yeah, the daughter's statement went on to say in her Instagram post, "Shame on my community for not speaking about domestic violence. Within Alamo Heights, women are marginalized by society and misogyny every day and are told to keep their mouths shut." The 20-year-old goes on to write, "Those who choose to remain silent are choosing to blind themselves from domestic violence in our homes. My mother tried to leave my father and lost her life." Boy, you know, Dr. John, back to you. What does that say about this, the frustration here from this young woman?
Well, she's trying to raise awareness to this. This is not a new problem. This is an ongoing problem that has been manifesting and is pervasive throughout our society. She's calling out, putting a spotlight on the secrecy that a lot of men hold when it comes to objectifying women and believing that their wives are subject to whatever their whims are. And that's not true. And so she's really kind of bringing a voice to her mother, number one, but to all victims, all those victims who haven't died yet, and those that are in really dangerous situations and don't really think that there's a way out. There is, but it's not really talked about.
Yeah, and sadly, and Mike, quickly, society, we don't have the mechanism sometimes for people to leave relationships because this sometimes is the ultimate, this is what happens.
Yeah, to your point, if neighbors heard them arguing in the past and there was a history and they notified police and police respond, maybe this could have been prevented. So I agree with what she's saying. I feel for her. And like your guest said, she's a voice for her mother. And I think it's important that domestic violence is reported and so that police can respond.
All right, Dr. John Delatorre and Mike Alcazar, thank you so much for your valuable time.